Good morning, everyone. Don't mind me. I know most of you will not see the goodness of this morning, simply because perhaps your financial status is appalling. Nevertheless, we have to thank God for whatever we do. There's goodness in everything. We came here hale and hearty. We don't have any impairment. Everybody can see me from afar and from here. That means we have every cause to say Alhamdulillah. That is, we thank God for everything. That is the Arabic version of Alhamdulillah, saying thanks, glory be to God. Now, I know in other languages, I'm not so confident about other languages, but I know the Yoruba will say Oshe. Is it? Is it so? The Igbos. The Chinese will say no. Oh? Don't mind me, I'm not so confident about that. But I know that we have to thank God in whatever we do. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Now, I know, is there any thief here? Anybody from Benue State? Benue State is like a second home to me. I served there with the Voice newspapers. Then there was no banditry, no kidnapping. We had journey was relatively safe, so we traveled all the way from Katsina to Benue State. Now, if there's any thief here, they say Nsu. Oh, Nsu where? Is there any thief here? Oh, Idoma, they say Anya. Don't mind me, please, for digressing. Don't mind me. Even the Oyibo, what do they say? The Oyibo one will say thank you. And then the Frenchman, what does the Frenchman say? He says, merci beaucoup or merci bien. Now, this is the starting point of my scintillating story. You know, when we go down memory lane, when I was in my elementary days, I had a teacher, a French teacher. After the examination, he was distributing papers to students, to his pupils. Immediately he saw me, he beckoned me and said I should stay aside with a stern look. From that time I knew, now Kofsa, I knew there was a problem. He said stay aside. You know why he did that? Because my performance was woeful. I was so jittery. I stood aside and then he came thereafter. He said, you, with his koboko in his hand. You can imagine when your teacher is holding a koboko. I was so jittery. He said, next time you give me this result, I will give you the flog of your life. I will flog you severely. I was so scared. When I went home, I became moody. In fact, my mother didn't even know what was happening to me. She attempted asking, but I didn't give her any answer. From then, I started, making up my mind that I will not disappoint this teacher. So in the next examination, he came and he reminded me. He pointed at me, saying, rebuking me seriously. I said, if you dare fail this exam, you remember what I told you in the last examination. I nodded my head. So after the examination, I come and see how I was writing. I was smiling as I was writing because I knew almost all the answers. After the examination, the papers were given, and then he called me in the class, and he said everybody should applaud me. I was given a round of applause for a good job. So that is the point I'm trying to drive at. The teacher's duty is to exert the potentiality of his students. In fact, a teacher does not have any excuse whatsoever in the class to say that a certain student is dull or a certain student has a low IQ. Educationally, there is no excuse whatsoever. You must be able to get comfortable with the interest of your students and to know the point you are to drive at.
In fact, if the French teacher didn't do that to me, I wouldn't have excelled. So that is why this has been my guiding principle as a teacher. So, in the classroom, as an English teacher or the teacher of English teacher, no, you might wonder why I'm saying vice versa, English teacher or English. I prefer using a teacher of English, because when you say an English teacher, that means what? You are trying to be ambiguous. I'm trying to avoid ambiguity here. So a teacher of English, because when you say an English teacher, that means you are probably referring to the native of English, isn't it? So as an English teacher or teacher of English or whatever, in the class I paid more attention to the oral and spoken English. I attempted in the class to make the students articulate the sound. Can everybody do that? So what do you will hear the whistling sound, isn't it? But it was very, very challenging for my students to be able to articulate this, and I took it as a challenge. I discovered that you have to try as much as possible to teach the students the articulatory points of this sound for them to be able to pronounce it correctly. So I said, it means what? They're going to put the tip of your tongue in between your front, upper, and lower teeth for you to be able to articulate this. If you don't do that, that means you're not going to articulate it correctly. You know, the cause of the matter here is most of the Nigerian dialects don't have this sound. They don't. My Hausa or northern siblings, they will say, I gave them a simple sentence. The same girl came into the class. I asked somebody to read it from my siblings' Hausawa. And what she said? The same girl came into the class. Sin. S-I-N. So you know what that means? Sin means what? Offending God. Sin, and then I asked Monica. Sorry, is that Monica here? Not you. So I said, read this sentence for me. This sentence for me. I said, the same girl came into the class. What did she say? She said, the teen girl came into the class. That is my other siblings. So you see, we have difficulty there. So what happens if sounds are not articulated correctly? You have distortion and misinterpretation, and this is a very, very serious case. Sometimes it can even drive you, God forbid, to court or to prison because of distortion of a message. So from that, then I know that teaching is not for mediocres at all. You have to thrive, because you will see people saying, "I'm teaching," or you're taking teaching as a last resort. That is not it. Teaching is a field of affairs, and it's a very, very enticing and creative career. It's a noble profession. So you see, from there, I have realized that you have to put a lot of impact, you have to put a lot of strength, you have to put a lot of interest and passion, especially for you to be able to teach. Because unfortunately, most of us take it as a last resort. No, I want to change your mind from now, that you should not take teaching as a last resort, because when you go there, when you go into it, you will discover it is a hell of affairs. So in the dynamic changing world, we have realized that education has taken, the education process has changed. That means what? We are more pragmatic. People pay more attention to something. We give more emphasis on the two domains, which means the affective domain and the psychomotor. Affective relating to your character and your well-being, and then psychomotor, your skills and whatever. So I have realized that since that is the case, education process is emphasis more emphasis on the child. That is the child-centered. You, the teacher, is supposed to be a guide to teach those students. So I was virtually assessing my students on these ignored areas, the affective motor and the psychomotor domain and the affective, because I know that by the end of the day, these are the things that will work for us, because we laying emphasis on the cognitive domain is tantamount to, futility, because most of us go out with our portfolios running here and there to get jobs. When you graduate from university, you spend about how many years to get a job? So you see, I changed the attitude, and the students were happy about it. They were delighted about that. We changed the position of the class so that it will be less formal, because when you look at my journalistic angle, I decided to juxtapose education and journalism in the sense that we have a round table conference like arrangement of the tables, where I became the moderator. I got that one from where? From my journalistic profession, journalism profession. I'll be a moderator, while the students will be a kind of panel. That was how we did, and they enjoyed it. And we had other means too. That means we were assessing students on hygiene, on good conduct. All this gave the students impetus to be more active in the class and to give you positive responses. So what I'm saying here is that teaching should be reckoned with. Teaching is a noble profession. Teaching is like any other job. People run away from it because of the meager take home pay. But it doesn't matter. You can do anything. You can go to Hajj, you can buy your car, you can buy anything with teaching. As far as you are planning. And teachers are the best planners. When they go to the class, they plan very well. You have your lesson plan. That from the lesson plan, that is where you can give out the desired, instruction to the students, because you are talking about their ages now. You know what they will be able to, their capacity. You talk about the time things. So when you look at this, you saw that a teacher is a good planner, and that has gone down into my own house. Because from teaching, you won't believe it, I didn't have any nanny. I had 5 kids. I have 5 kids without any nanny. So in the morning, 4 a.m. was the time that everybody would wake up. I would do all the house chores, all the household chores, and take care of the kids, get ready to go to school, and then we return home by 2 o'clock. From there we rush home again for lunch quickly, and then after then we would go to Islamia at 4 o'clock. We return home at 6, and then after when they come home at 6, they rush to water the garden, and then while I go straight to the kitchen for dinner. By 8 they'll have their homework, where we're under my monitoring and supervision, and from there we sleep by 10 o'clock. So you see, despite all daunting challenges, I was able to make it. And by the end of the day, I got trained, because I was beclouded by bereavement. My breadwinner passed away, and I was able to raise these children up to the university level, and now some of them are working. Thank you very much. Now, before I take a bow, I will remind you of the lyrics of Billy Ocean. Everybody knows Billy Ocean go? When they're going, I want everybody to go. Everybody that knows this song should go along with me. When the going gets tough, I'm listening to you, audience. When the going gets tough, I can't hear you. The tough gets going. Thank you very much.